Interviewer asks you, tell me about yourself, and then you're like, oh crap, where do I go from here? What is going on YouTube? My name is Afzal Hussain, founder and CEO of officialcvdoctor.com. First and foremost, I'd like to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please turn on post notifications so every time I upload a video, you're the first person to know that it goes onto YouTube so you can watch it nice and early. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I post weekly videos on interview advice, tips and guidance, particularly focused on helping university students and graduates. And if you have any questions, or if you want me to do a video on a particular interview question that you're struggling with, drop it in the comments below, give me some feedback, and I'll be more than happy to create a video on it in due course. Do share this video with any of your friends, your mates, your colleagues, your peers who you think might find it useful. That's the logistics out of the way. Now let's get right into it. Today's question is, tell me about yourself. It's literally a question that every interviewer is, going to ask you. Tell me about yourself. It's a very important question because employees and organizations, they want to get to know you. They don't want to hire robots. They don't want individuals that just get the best grades, but they don't have a personality. As human beings, the best employees are those who are well-rounded, and so it's normal for an interviewer to ask you, tell me about yourself. Let's flip it around for a second. If you ran a company and you were hiring someone, I'm sure you would ask the individual, tell me a bit about yourself. A few key things to keep in mind when answering this question is, it's not there to trick you, it's not there to throw you off. They literally want to get to know you. Make it a personal response, make it interesting, and keep the interviewer engaged. Now I'm going to tell you a bit more about how to answer this question to give you the best chances of impressing the person asking you this interview question. Immediately you need to think about telling them about your personal story, because every single individual that ends up in that interview room is going to have a different story to tell, and yours is unique. And if it's interesting enough, it will keep the person interviewing you engaged and interested and curious, and all of that is very important for helping them kind of build a likability or build some connection with you, which in essence will put you through to the next stage, because it's very, very important to build that rapport with the interviewer. Best way to approach it: when you walk through someone through your CV, there are 3 key sections on your CV that you need to kind of pitch yourself to the employer. These 3 key sections are education, work experience, and extracurricular activities. How I do it is, so for university students, at the top of your CV you're going to have your grades, right, and what you're studying. You should tell them what you're studying, at which university. They'll know this, they'll have it on their CV, but it's a good introductory statement. What you're studying, what university, and how you kind of got to studying that. Like, why did you decide to study that particular course? Usually for many students it ties into A-levels, so now you're going way back. You're going to A-levels. At A-levels I studied XYZ. My keen interest in this topic meant or resulted in me wanting to pursue it at a higher level, and so I decided to study this at university. So you start with what university, then you tie it back to your A-levels, and then you talk about your A-levels, tell them what A-levels you studied, and then that resulted in what you're studying at university. After you touch on your education, it's important to go on to your relevant work experience, right? You're walking them through your CV, remember. So you might have experience doing numerous things. Let's take investment banking, for example. So I might say, going into university, I always knew I wanted to pursue a career or explore any careers within the fields of investment banking, finance and consulting. As a result, I knew in my first year that it would be worthwhile seeking internship or Insight Week opportunities, and so when I went to university, I tried to get as much experience in my first year in order to kind of give me an insight into the world of work, particularly into the world of work within finance and banking. So you can say something like that if you've got Insight Weeks. If you're in university and you haven't got any experience whilst at university, and all of your experiences before university and it's irrelevant, so you might have spent hours working in a retail outlet or a retail shop, you could say something like, before university it's always quite tricky to get such experience, so I thought it would be worthwhile trying to get retail experience to help me develop my interpersonal and my teamwork skills. Basically what you want to do is kind of sell your previous experience, even if it's relevant. It's relevant because you're going to have skills that you've learned from it. So even if I worked at a retail store or a gardening store, whatever it might be, and it's not relevant for investment banking, I still learned skills from these experiences. So I learned teamwork skills, I learned how to work under pressure. When the shop got really busy, I learned to work under pressure and provide high quality work. I developed my interpersonal skills. I wasn't confident, I wasn't able to present in front of people or public speak, and these experiences helped me do that. Now going into university, so that's easily a way to pitch irrelevant experience to the person interviewing you. Okay, so you've talked them through where you are academically, what degree you're studying, what university you're at, and then you went back and you told them about your A-levels, and now you spoke to them about your work experience. If you're at university and you've got Insight Week's internships, amazing, you can talk about that and I'm sure it's relevant to the interview. If you're at university and you don't have any relevant experience, don't worry, because you can talk about any previous work that you've done and then kind of sell the skills that you've learned. Even if the job itself isn't relevant to the role you're applying for, you can easily sell the skills that you learned. So you've learned teamwork skills, interpersonal skills, relationship building skills, XYZ. All of these are usually applicable to the roles that you're probably applying for or interviewing for. That brings me on to the next point. So you've done education, work experience, extracurricular activities. This is something you should all be pursuing. This is something you should all be able to talk about at interviews. You have to be part of different societies. Like if you're targeting investment banking jobs, internships, law, consulting, marketing, whatever it might be, there's so many other candidates out there, and if you aren't part of your economic society or your business society or your media and marketing society, whatever it might be, there are so many societies and so many things to do at university. Make sure you're getting stuck in and make sure you're getting involved, because you can talk about these in your interviews and you can sell them as well, because you're learning a lot of skills from them, you're getting a lot of transferable skills from them, and these are applicable into the roles that you're applying for. And all of this, if you talk to them about your education, your previous work experience, and then your current extracurricular activities, and what you're doing in them, what you've done in them, and what you've learned from them, that is literally music to the interviewer's ears. So keep that in mind. Think of it as a pitch. Everyone knows an interview is a pitch. You're trying to sell yourself to the interviewer. So how can you sell yourself in the best way possible without coming across arrogant, remaining humble, and building a rapport with the interviewer where they think, you know what, this person is actually quite interested, I might like working with them. That's your main aim. So you can say, you know, as well as all this work experience and everything that I'm doing that I've done previously, I'm actually part of the football team and the economic society at university, and you know, I'm the captain of the football team and I'm the recruitment officer for the economic society, if that exists, and these roles include, you know, X, Y and Z. 30 seconds, boom, done. After you say all that, you get to the final bit, because if you just end abruptly it just looks a bit weird. You kind of end your answer with how you ended up in this seat. Having done all this work experience and all these extracurricular activities, I am naturally interested in a position in a global investment bank, if that organization is a global investment bank. You know, I'm interested in the world of finance, banking, XYZ. And so I've been exploring internship applications, XYZ, or Insight Week applications, or graduate schemes. And as a result, I thought I'd do an application for your company after speaking to so-and-so, or after attending XYZ networking event, or after reading a lot about the company on the website and on LinkedIn. And now I'm here today, so thank you for taking the time. Be courteous, make sure you thank them for the time, and yeah, that's it, that's how you do it. Boom. Now, a few things to keep note of. Keep it succinct, not too long. I've witnessed a candidate be asked to tell me a bit about yourself and he spoke for 10 minutes straight. You don't want to do that. Keep it to 3 minutes max. Remember, you don't want to bore the interviewer, so this is important actually. Make sure you're reading the interviewer's body language and facial expressions. If they look bored out of their mind, either make it interesting or cut it short. You don't want to bore them. Now, if you found that video useful, first and foremost, subscribe, because I'm doing weekly videos. In an ideal world, I will be, look, end of the day, I put out these videos to try and help students and graduates and anyone who it might be helpful for. If I can help one person, that's amazing. I've done my job, I'm happy. but obviously I'm about impact. I want to help as many students as possible. If you subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated by me. If you leave a comment on a question or an interview question that you're struggling with, I'll be more than happy to help you out with that. I will create a video on that later on. Turn post notifications on so you get notifications when I release a new video. I do a video every week. And last but not least, preparation is key. Everything I've spoke about today, make sure you write them down, the key points, and you rehearse. Practice your story. You don't want to sound too scripted. Walk through your CV, talk in a mirror, and just practice. Practice makes perfect, and that literally is it. When I was going through interviews, I was practicing and practicing. But one thing more than anything is you want to be yourself. You want yourself to come across in the interviews. So just relax, be yourself, you got this, and make sure you tune in to the next video. Peace!